A very good morning, Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And this morning, we need to take a look on what is happening in South Africa and the political dynamics in terms of shifts within the SADC region. And also, we need to focus on Zimbabwe and see what are the prospects of Cyrill Ramaphosa, Emmerson Mnangagwa, and the liberation movements to survive after the fate of the ANC. Remember that the ANC seems to be still in charge, but things have differently changed. What is going to happen is that they no longer have that overall control of what happens in South Africa at this point in time, which means Cyrill Ramaphosa, even if he continues to be president, he is now limited and can no longer do some things. So this is what is very important at this point in time. Let us continue to take a look onto these issues so that we get to understand what is next for this team. But let us start by the background of what 40% means for the ANC. What it means is the ANC is now forced to actually review the performance of Cyrill Ramaphosa as a president, because he is the first president to fail in the South African history. He is the first ANC leader to fail at the helm. As the leader, he must take responsibility of his actions. Pala, all these issues, the persecution of other leaders, all these issues contribute to where we are going at this point in time. But what happens is that 40% for the ANC in the final result, it means they will need a coalition for them to gather. But that coalition, we have two circumstances right here. It's either the ANC will choose to join hands with the DA, but will Cyrill Ramaphosa survive the backlash after that? That is very important to note. If he is to unite with the DA, then he will have to face the consequences. He will be regarded as a sellout. Is he ready for that? I doubt that he is ready for that. Then, if he is to unite with EFF alone, Julius Malema alone, get away with Zuma, it's not possible, because if you add the result of ANC right now and the result of the EFF right now, they don't add to majority. If EFF had a better vote, which will lead to majority, it was better. We have 400 seats in parliament. Those 400 seats, you divide by 2 plus 1 seat. That is 201 seats for the ANC to have a governing majority. So if they add with the EFF, it depends with the final number of seats allocated. This is what we are looking at right now. So after all these results, we need to take a look. What seats is ANC having? What seats is EFF having? Do these seats make them surpass 201? If they can make up to 201, they can strike a deal between the ANC and the EFF, and they will leave out the MK. But when it comes to passing bills which need 2/3 majority, it becomes a problem, which means that we have to find coalitions each and every time they want to pass something. They have to negotiate with MK, they have to negotiate with DA. So the only chance right here is for Ramaphosa and the ANC to have a discussion with both the MK as well as the EFF. What are their demands? Talk and make sure that they deal with this issue once and for all. That is the first point. But the second point at hand right now is that if you take a look on the screen, there are reports that the ANC want Ramaphosa out. Senior figures in South Africa's ANC are debating the future of President Cyrill Ramaphosa as the depth of the loss suffered in South Africa general election sank in. This is the report. It was reported yesterday. We talked about it a day before yesterday, that there are rumors that they want to recall Cyrill Ramaphosa if he fails to get to 50%. And it has been confirmed yesterday. Several meetings happened, and it's being confirmed that things are not well within the ANC. So what it means is there is a great possibility that Cyrill Ramaphosa can be recalled, replaced by Paul Matshatile. There is something from Gwede Mantashe. I can't find the video now, but there is a video from Gwede Mantashe. He was talking to some journalists He said, I am in, which means he's going to parliament. But he said, I am number 2. And number 2 is going to be number 1. That is a proverb. He said, I am number 3, but I'm going to number 2. And number 2 is going to number 1. What it means is, Paul Mashatile, we have to move down to number 1. Is it down or up? 2 and 1. I do not know. But you have to move from 2 to 1. And then Gwede Mandashe moves to 2. Here's the problem. Can Gwede Mandashe be the vice president of South Africa? If there is a coalition, what it means is he is not going to be the vice president. What are the prospects so far? So far, the leading muscle is saying, let Paul Mashatile take over, we deal with him later, but let Julius Malema be the vice president, which means in the presidency, Zuma knows that he will have somebody he can trust, Julius Malema. Forget all the foes between Julius Malema and Jacob Zuma. The focus now is about the future. The focus now is about preservation of South Africa. And Jacob Zuma believes the only person who can preserve South Africa better is Julius Malema. That is what Zuma believes. So whatever which is happening at this point in time, it means they are under pressure. Jacob Zuma is calling the shots right there. Because if anything is to move, then they will need Jacob Zuma. And they need both Malema and Jacob Zuma. But let us take a look on something which is very important to note. If you take a look on the South African election, you see that there is a possibility that they can proceed, the party with the majority, if the other parties fail to put themselves together and have their own leader. What can happen is that the ANC can still choose a president, and they will lead with the minority. They will have a minority, but they will lead with their president in charge. The problem always comes when they need to pass a policy. Everybody will be looking at them and say, do it, let us see. Nothing will move. And the problem of them failing to have an alliance is that one day somebody will just wake up and say, I'm recalling the president in parliament. And the president's emotion will be moved. He will be removed from parliament. He will be impeached. And nothing will happen. So what is happening is that ANC has been debating, saying there is pala there. Now with that, we no longer have majority in parliament. What should we do? Because the pala is going to be resurrected. One way or the other, this coming parliament is going to resurrect pala issue, which means Cyrill Ramaphosa will fall. There are several issues of Cyrill Ramaphosa which they want him to answer in parliament, which means one way or the other, he is going to fall. So what it means is they need to make sure that they clean their dirty linen and they resolve this issue and avoid a further humiliation for the ANC. But it all depends with how Cyrill Ramaphosa is connected within the ANC and how powerful he remains. Let us take a look on another issue. I have seen that ANC, the other opposition, are trying by all means to fight the current result. And some people are saying, we cannot work with this current result. There was vote rigging and etc. What is my opinion on that? I believe that at this point in time, they must accept the results which are there. If I was the EFF and the MK, I was not going to challenge any results. I was going to say, okay, well, people have voted, people decided, we accepted the result, let us move forward. Why I was going to say so is simple. It's because Cyrill Ramaphosa, if he feels that is overwhelmed, he can simply call for another election. If they fail to get to an agreement, Cyrill Ramaphosa does have an option constitutionally to call for another election so that they deal with this matter. What it means is they will have fresh national elections, which means the parliament will have to have fresh elections once again. They will need to go to an election so as to find a solution to this. What it means is if Ramaphosa organizes well, they will manipulate the systems further. They have learned lessons right now in terms of where they lagged in terms of rigging strategy and tactics. Remember, ZANU-PF was working from the shadows. What it means is they didn't have direct control of the whole thing. But if fresh elections are called, they will have an upper hand in terms of manipulating systems and things. And that would be a disaster to the opposition. You can be surprised seeing Ramaphosa coming top. So that is very, very important to note at this point in time. What does it mean for South Africa then? What it means is South Africa at this point in time is at a situation where they need to decide the direction they need to take. It's not an issue of ego. It's not an issue of this person did this to me. It's an issue of making a decision. I believe that it's wise to let Mashatile take over, Julius Malema be the vice president, and form a coalition where some ministers are going to come from the MK, some from the ANC, and some from the EFF. And that is going to create something which is solid and something which can be sustainable. And they'll work together for the good. This is what is happening. So if you take a look on that, you will see that South Africa will stabilize. If that position is taken and Ramaphosa is out, what does it mean for Emmerson, Mnangagwa, and ZANU-PF? You will go to Congress to summit in August. If we go to summit in August with a new South African president and the Zambian president who is pro-democracy and the Angolan chairperson who is almost neutral, then just know that people are in trouble. ZANU-PF was relying more on Cyrill Ramaphosa and the Democratic Republic of Congo presidents. These are the two people they were relying upon. But the tactic which was being used by ZANU-PF was divide and rule and bullying. What does it mean? It means with a new president in South Africa, if they agree on a position to stand as South Africa against Mnangagwa, it will make them make two demands. Demand number one, it will be an issue of saying Zimbabwe must go for another election, or Zimbabwe must bring back everybody so that they sit down and talk. That is, Chamisa will be brought, Kasukuwere and Mzembe will be brought onto the table to negotiate. Why am I mentioning Kasukuwere and Mzembe? There is something where Kasukuwere was removed illegally from the ballot. Kasukuwere was removed illegally from the ballot, which means a team which comes from South Africa will press for that to happen. So what it means is there will be need for Chamisa to compromise, negotiate first with Kasukuwere and Mzembe, find each other, then they approach Mnangagwa from one front. Once they've done once they confront Mnangagwa from one front, they have an upper hand. They now control things and situations. So this is very critical at this point in time. I have been saying from Satatanga election, I have been saying if Mnangagwa goes, Ramaphosa goes. If Ramaphosa goes, Mnangagwa goes. It's because these people, they go one after the other. That is the setup which is there. These people are going one after the other. If Ramaphosa falls, the next person is Mnangagwa. So Mnangagwa tried by all means possible to protect Ramaphosa, tried by all means to make sure that they survive. They failed to survive. ANC is doomed. At 40% for the first time, they've dropped by more than 15%. From 57%, 10% drop is at 47%, and the rest is history. So you would see that a drop by around 17% is not something which was expected to a party like the ANC. But it has happened, which means they will have to discard this leader, they will have to discard Ramaphosa, such that the economy moves, such that South Africa moves. And the opposition in South Africa does have an upper hand. So this is what is happening at this point in time. We are still waiting for the finalization of the South African election. And when you see reports being made by very powerful platforms like the Spectator Index, it shows that something is really happening and something very important is about to happen. And I can tell you, Gwede Mandashe confirmed it. He actually said, I am number 3 on the list. Then I will be number 2, and number 2 will be number 1. That means the removal of Cyrill Ramaphosa. What is the order of the ANC? Cyrill Ramaphosa is number 1. Number 2 is Paul Mashatile. Number 3 is the chairperson, Gwede Mantashe. This is the order going up, which means if Ramaphosa is eliminated, next and next and next and next. It's now about survival. It's no longer about Ramaphosa. It's now about the survival of the ANC. Because at this point in time, MK and the other comrades might just say, we want to spite Cyrill Ramaphosa. And they form a coalition with DA out of nowhere, just to spite Ramaphosa and to spite ANC if they don't fall to, to what they are demanding. So that is very, very dangerous for these people. They do not want that. So they will have to compromise. They will have to find a common position which they have to approach what is happening right there. So this is very important and this very, very critical at this point in time. Discussions are happening. Meetings are happening as we speak right now. We are at 97.8% so far, 2.2% short of the final result. And people are running around to have discussions about a possible coalition. So this is what is happening at this point in time, and it's doomed for Emmerson Mnangagwa. So it's ANC is sitting at 40.12% so far, while this DA is at 21.75%, and MK is at 14.78%. So these are the statistics. EFF is at 9.4% this time around. These are the statistics, and we are at 97.9 complete right now. So this is interesting, and is going to make something very big. This is a very, very big development so far. And you know, as for the people of Zimbabwe, you are free. I can tell you, the people of Zimbabwe, your freedom has come, your freedom is near. Let me get through some comments. Sazda said ANC and EFF will be a bad combination. It's not attractive for international investors. The best option is to have Rama out and use a neutral person accepted by ANC and DA. Then the economy will live. The issue at hand, Sadza, is not about DA. I want to tell you this. The issue at hand is not about DA. Even if you go to the MK party, the message is not about the DA. They want to spite Ramaphosa, not the ANC. They want to spite Ramaphosa, not the ANC. Both the EFF and the MK are on the same page. Remember the T meeting which they had. They agreed on something. The elimination of Cyrill Ramaphosa from the South African politics. And that agreement is agreed across the political divide within ANC, MK, and EFF. So these people do not care about what is going to happen next. What they want is having domination. They want dominance, and they want DA to go. This is the correct position, I'm telling you. They just don't know how to do it, but they want DA to go. So no matter the circumstances, don't think that if there is these people will say we want to save the economy, so we have to put somebody from DA on the forefront. It is not going to happen. What is going to happen is there is need for a conversation between the key kingmakers in the South African economy. Ask yourself why South Africa was functioning under Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma was accused of corruption. We were told about the Guptas, but the South African economy was moving. Jacob Zuma was removed while the South African economy was in a better position. The Guptas then vanished, and the South African economy started to fall. What happened is the Ruperts, who are in charge and control of the South African economy right now, they do not matter much. What matters most is a leader with a clear vision. Because those with investments in South Africa are not going to risk their investments for the sake of the economy. They are not going to do that. The reason why they are in a disagreement with the EFF is because they fear that if EFF comes and expropriation comes, they will lose farms, they will lose mines, they will lose companies. And Jacob Zuma, that is the reason why Jacob Zuma is in the equation. He understands how things must be done. He understands the pace of which things are done. So this is not an issue of you wake up tomorrow and you'll be told that South Africa has been nationalized wholly. We have the state institutions which were in the hands of the government, nationally owned. That is the first point of call of this government. They are going to deal with those state-owned companies, those which were privatized. They will be retained to state ownership. And they will leave everything as it was and start to normalize things from within. So for those who believe that this is the end and the crash of the South African economy, I believe that that is wrong. That position cannot be substantiated at this point in time. The economy of South Africa is already collapsing under Ramaphosa. What else do you expect right now? It's already collapsing under Cyrill Ramaphosa, which means there is need for a new person to save this situation. And the DA will never influence anything. I can tell you, there is nothing the DA will change. There is nothing they will change. So, Fadzanai, good morning. Brian, good morning. Makoni, it says, is Mbalula watching this? Okay. Shingai Victor says, Mbalula is douchebag. Okay. Young says, God is great. At least if Ramaphosa out Zimbabwe, a ruling party will find itself some hardship. Yes. So we need to see either a neutralized Ramaphosa or we want Ramaphosa to go out completely. So if Ramaphosa is neutralized, then he goes to approach Sadiq on a neutral position. If he is removed completely, we have a new leadership in South Africa approaching ZANU-PF differently, radically, and making demands on ZANU-PF. And ZANU-PF will give in. Anthony, thank you very much, my brother, says, Mbalula ararane butun hasi, Varakashi vachaita say. There is chaos all over. Go to the Varakashi cycles right now. They are in 6s and 7s because what we were telling them is what happened. We projected this ANC at 41%. This is where I was standing. I was saying ANC at 15%. I was wrong on the MK. I underestimated the MK. I thought the EFF was going to get 15% and the MK 10%. But it turned out that it's ANC 41%, DA 21%, MK around 15%, and EFF nearly 10%. So you would see that that situation alone, it says a lot. It says a lot, which means we still have an upper hand. We are still in charge of things. As they are, the opposition is still in charge of things. Jacob Zuma is a strategist. He is well connected within the ANC and is calling shots within the ANC, and it's happening. Which means those who are under Ramaphosa within the ANC, those who are under Ramaphosa within the MK and the EFF, they can simply let Ramaphosa take over and impeach him soon after. They have the capability to do so, and nothing will happen. Nobody will stop it. So this is a very important position right now, which means the ANC need to negotiate right now and find themselves a new leader. Brian says, no rerun, we want way forward, coalition government is better. Yes, it depends. If they frustrate Ramaphosa to deeper levels, he can simply do it as the frustrated man, which means they need to deal with him. They need to remove him as quickly as possible. DA run areas are said to have excellent public services, so you have no interest in taking advantage of a bit of that. You need to give the devil his due mate. It's not an issue of DA run areas. We are saying, what was the economy like when Jacob Zuma was there? The economy was well run when Jacob Zuma was there. Why are you not talking about the position of the ANC during the Jacob Zuma days? Why are you not talking about it during those days? Things were well. The economy was excellently run. Projects were running. Jacob Zuma was pouring money in municipalities in every province. He was pouring money. Why? But these crooks which came with Cyrill Ramaphosa, they changed everything. So the problem is not on whoever. The problem is on the leadership of Cyrill Ramaphosa. It's just like in Zimbabwe. Mismanagement on the part of Cyrill Ramaphosa does not mean it's mismanagement from the EFF. Take a look in areas where the EFF is in charge. They're delivering. EFF is delivering in the areas they were in charge. They are delivering. Nobody is complaining. So why are you focusing on the DA and not focusing on what the EFF has been doing? EFF has been building schools. EFF has trained pilots. Young people have been trained to be pilots by the EFF because they say we want black people to be pilots as well. We cannot have an economy where you have whites as pilots only. So all these issues, you see that you cannot absolve completely what the EFF has done. You cannot simply say, okay, simply because right now the DA was doing better, so and so, so there is no capacity. There is capacity because Jacob Zuma did much development in South Africa. Take a look on the infrastructure which Jacob Zuma brought. There was no load shedding during Jacob Zuma, but Eskom was a state-run company. It was a state-owned company, Eskom. There was no load shedding. SAA was working. The South African Airways was working. All these parastatals were working in South Africa and to full capacity. South Africa had the fastest train here in the Gautrain, I think, during the days of Jacob Zuma. It was connecting Johannesburg and Pretoria, the fastest train which they had, Gautrain. I remember that is around 2011, 2012, somewhere there. It was during the time of Jacob Zuma. Take a look on how infrastructure was. There was no shortage of water. There was employment rates were better during the days of Jacob Zuma. The health system was not overwhelmed during the days of Jacob Zuma. There were no reports of foreigners overwhelming the health facilities in South Africa. Why? It's because Jacob Zuma was putting enough funds, enough resources. But comes Cyrill Ramaphosa, everything is turned upside down. The problem is Cyrill Ramaphosa. He is the problem. He's very corrupt, and he has created a situation like the government of Emmerson Mnangagwa in Zimbabwe is what Cyrill Ramaphosa is doing. Which means there is capacity. MK is coming on a fresh page of capacity. I believe that these black people can run the economy of South Africa successfully. All they need to eradicate is corruption and nepotism. If they can manage to remove incompetence, take a look on Julius Malema. You just make a mistake of becoming incompetent, you are fired from the EFF. He does not care. He removed some people because they just proved to be useless. There was a councillor from EFF. There was simply one single report about him involved in corruption. What happened is that he was called for a hearing and he found his letter of dismissal there. He was removed there and there because Julius Malema is a no-nonsense president. That is what is needed in South Africa. So that must be known. Willard, thank you very much for coming. Edwin says, that guy called Mbalula is an enemy to the people of Zimbabwe. Yes, Mbalula is lost. Radical solutions never work. Look up the Holo Aduma in Ukraine or get leap forward in China. You know, it's not an issue of taking radical solutions. I don't believe that Julius Malema is stupid. Julius Malema is one of the smartest people, but it's just that people misconceive what Julius Malema says. People take the policies of Julius Malema as if he want to destroy everything. Julius Malema is one of the smartest people in the South African politics. He is even capable of becoming a leader and a president. But I simply believe that for the first time, he just needs a sort of a guidance. He just needs a soft landing. He can, because remember, ANC is controlling 5 municipalities out of 9. They have control over 5 municipalities out of 9. And EFF is not in control of any. Which means if you put Julius Malema in the presidency, the chances of his survival are slim because they are not completely in charge. If you put an MK president right now, the chances of survival are slim. They will be sabotaged by the ANC in provinces. This is the reason why I am saying, let us have ANC president, let us have the MK choice, who is Julius Malema as vice president, and let us have ministers distributed equitably. That way, you will see the new team coming in, taking positions, firm positions for the development of South Africa. And you start to see fresh ideas. I want you to take a look on those areas they will be in charge. If that happens, you will see a difference. And the people of South Africa will start to see things differently. They will start to underappreciate South Africa under a new leadership altogether. And once that happens, then you start to see 2029, you will have the total extermination of the ANC. It will go. They will never talk about the ANC again. So you will see fresh faces coming. So right now, the reason why I disagree with having Julius Malema at the helm is because ANC is still in charge of provinces that need to be disbanded. And they cannot do it right now. It's a gradual process. It's something which needs to be done slowly and slowly and slowly. So this is it. This is it. Doroth, thank you very much, Doroth, for coming. Edwin, what does SA Constitution say about coalition in the event nobody garner 50%? Is it possible for DA, MK, EFF, PA, and other small parties to form coalition government? Okay, the Constitution of South Africa says, okay, first and foremost, presidents are not elected by the people. Presidents are elected in parliament. So the people have elected the parliamentary representatives. EFF sitting at 9%, MK sitting at around 15%, DA at 21%, and the ANC at 40%. What it means is we are going to have South Africa having sort of a government where nobody has the majority. But coalitions will come. ANC will talk to the EFF, will talk to the MK. They go to parliament together and vote for one president. That is what happens in such circumstances. They go to parliament and vote for one president. There is also a possibility if DA can convince MK and other parties, they can come and form their coalition. ANC can even unite with the DA, form a coalition government. If ANC unites with DA today, they will form a coalition government. If MK unites with DA and EFF, they will form a coalition government. So what is needed is 201 MPs on one side to vote for a single president. If that is achieved, then that president goes in. That is the issue. So Blessing says, good morning. Thank you very much, Blessing. Kawan, ANC must go. Nelson, thank you very much. We are here to save you and we are here for the updates. So this is what is happening, and we are taking a look on the South African reports, election results so far. We are taking a look on the South African election results so far, and we are at 98.8%. So far, we are at 98.8%, and we are waiting for the final result so that we come with that announcement so that we understand what is happening. So we have 22,844 out of 23,292. So let us see if we have a quick calculator there and see where we are. Okay, let me bring a calculator so that we do the math and understand where are we at this point in time. So, you know, the South African politics is quite complex. It's quite complex, and personally, I believe that people are simply being intimidated. Simply being intimidated. Do you think the whites are ready to leave South Africa? Do you think if the rand falls, the whites are going to be spared? I doubt. They are just trying to scare people by saying rand will not die, rand will not die. This issue of trying to make the economy fall is risky for everybody, and there will be no loss for those who are getting into power. They will lose nothing because they work everything from the bottom to the top, and those who have sabotaged the economy are going to fall and fail. So what it means is there is a time where those who control the markets will need to agree with the EFF, or whoever is coming in, they will need to agree and find a common position. That is the truth. That is the reality. You cannot run away from reality, and you never run away from reality. So what is happening right now is that a lot of people are afraid to say, if a new president comes, the economy will fall. If the economy falls, it will not fall for a very long time. It will be just for a period, and it will come back on its feet, which means there is no need to panic. South African economy, I don't believe that they can just deal with the South African economy just like that. In my own view, it doesn't work like that. I don't see that happening at this point in time. So what it means for the ZANU-PF people, ZANU-PF is done, Emmerson Mnangagwa is done. The slogan in Zimbabwe is new, bye-bye Mnangagwa, bye-bye. This is the new slogan, and things are going to change definitely, because ZANU-PF no longer have that support which it used to have. So this is a change. We are left with 448 polling stations to be entered, 448 polling stations to be entered, so that we get to the final results. So anytime from now, you are going to see the final results trickling in. Anytime from now, we are going to the final results of the South African election. Anytime from now, we are going to the final election result. Anytime from now. So it's interesting to see what is happening in South Africa. And this signifies the fall of Cyrill Ramaphosa and Emmerson Mnangagwa. I have been saying this even before Zimbabwe voted. We said the fall of Emmerson Mnangagwa means the fall of Cyrill Ramaphosa. And right now, the fall of Cyrill Ramaphosa, it means the fall of Emmerson Mnangagwa. We are going to SADC differently. I don't believe that they will take the same position. I see SADC differently this time around, which means there is need to press on. There is need for the team in Zimbabwe to work out on something. That is the reason why, personally, I believe there is need for a sort of a coalition in Zimbabwe, because team across the Limpopo, they like the team yakapinda izvezvizvi. They like Xavier Kasukuere more. They trust Xavier Kasukuere more. The team of Julius Malema, Jacob Zuma, they can easily relate with Xavier Kasukuere. That is a fact which we cannot deny. But in Zimbabwe, they know Xavier Kasukuere is not popular. And the person who is popular there is Nelson Chamisa. So I will come with a topic here, the mystery of Zimbabwe's new coalition. There is a mystery which is unfolding in Zimbabwe, and I can tell you that a coalition, an agreement is about to be reached between the powerful quarters within Zimbabwe. A deal is about to be struck between the military and the powerful politicians. This is just a hint I'm telling you, Zimbabwe, at this point in time. I will come with that live program, and this is something which has been confirmed. So far, it has been confirmed. I've been talking to somebody who is so powerful in the military cycles, well connected, and I can assure you that a deal has been reached. Mnangagwa is going nowhere. Mnangagwa is going nowhere. They are just giving him a long rope, such that they remove him in a different way. But Mnangagwa is going nowhere. So we need to talk about that coalition which is coming, and we'll also express what I need is authority to some extent to talk about this story. If I get a green light to talk about this story, I will come and talk about it. It's not a matter of coming with stories for the sake of coming with stories. Sometimes we come with stories. When I get a green light about such stories, I come with them. When you see me publishing stories, I would have gotten a green light. And if I get a green light about that story, I will have to share it, because I was told to hold on for some time now. And if I get a green light, then I will come and we'll talk about that issue. We'll talk about that story. Because our duty is to make sure that we inform the people of Zimbabwe so that they know what is happening and what is being worked underground and from the dark places. So that is very important for the people of Zimbabwe to know. Mnangagwa is gone. There is no Mnangagwa to talk about anymore right now, because one way or the other, very soon, Cyrill Ramaphosa is going to be neutralized. Even if he survives and he becomes the president again, he is neutralized already. A weak Ramaphosa is an advantage to Zimbabwe. A South African government without Ramaphosa is a plus for Zimbabwe. So that is the position at this point in time. Sibusiso, thank you very much, Sibusiso, for coming. Okay, speculation now about Zimbabwe. It's not speculation, it's about things which are happening. And we work with sources, we work with people with direct information. And that is the reason why we come to speak without fear or favor, because we know for sure change is coming. Do you think I would risk my life for nothing? I won't risk my life for nothing. I risk my life because I know that there is change which is coming to Zimbabwe. I risk my life because I know that change is coming to Zimbabwe. Not because I want a position, but because I know that change is coming to the nation of Zimbabwe. Who knew that ANC was going to get lower votes? Do you know that when I started to say I project 41%, somebody came to my inbox, somebody who know me, who follow me, and said, ANC will surpass, will go beyond 50%. This is, somebody came to my inbox and told me that. Just imagine. And he came to me and said, you are losing credibility, ANC is going, and I said, wait, Mr. Man, ANC is not going to get more than 41%. And where we are right now, where are we right now? 41%, less than 41%, we're at 40% so far. The ANC is sitting at 40%, 40.15%. That is where they are. So if you put the margin of error there, I'm in the range, 41%. We are in the range. So you can actually see that when we speak about these things, we work with information which we receive, we work out the probabilities of things happening, and we give opinion about those issues. We don't just wake up and say, what should I talk about today? No, we work with credible information which comes from different quarters. We put it together, which analyze the situation. I was telling you, I was talking to some other guys about this election in South Africa, and I said, I was foreseeing ANC getting around the same figures, 41%. I was seeing EFF getting around 15%. I was seeing the MK getting around 10%. And what are the figures right now? The figures are ANC is at 40%. I was at 41%. MK is at 14.76%. I was giving EFF 15%, which is almost the same. 15% has gone to the third biggest opposition. And the fourth, which was is at 9.42%, which is almost to 10%, which means I just mixed between the MK and the EFF, but the results are the same. The projections are the same. I talked about DA and I said DA was going to remain the same. Where is DA? DA is at 21.71%. Previously, they were at 22%. So you can actually see that at times we work with the data. We work with information from inside sources. This is the information which we work with. And we use it to our own advantage to find a common position, to find an agreed position. So personally, taking a look on the economy of South Africa, Team Zimbabwe and Team South Africa, do not worry about the government which is coming. It's for the good of Zimbabwe. It's for the good of the whole SADC region. Because we need a shift in the southern region. We need a complete shift. Do you know that Julius Malema is talking about open borders? Open borders is not a policy where you say Zimbabweans will have to move into South Africa to go and take jobs from South Africans. No. Open border policy is where we have a functional Zimbabwe. Just take it like this, guys. We have South Africa, which is functional. We have Zimbabwe, which is functional. Namibia, Zambia, Botswana, Mozambique, all these countries functional. Nobody just leaves his home willingly to say, I just want to live in South Africa. I'm hesitant myself to go and live elsewhere. I love Zimbabwe so much. I can't just leave Zimbabwe like that. No matter the economic interest or advantages or whatever, I have the potential even to go to the UK. I have the potential even to go to the USA. I can even go to Australia to work, but I choose to be in Zimbabwe for a reason. It's because I love Zimbabwe. Which means if we manage to build Zimbabwe to be good, people will work within the borders of Zimbabwe. But they will still move into South Africa freely without a passport, using their IDs, to go and buy some things, to go and have a vacation, to go and see other people. People will still move into Zambia and they will go in and out without any restrictions. The border control will be there just to control things in terms of how things happen, not to control, to limit people. No. You see, you cannot put a fence between Zimbabwe and South Africa on that bridge, and you leave the Limpopo River open. Why is it that you have closed the South African border, but Zimbabweans are still in South Africa? This is the argument of Julius Malema. A lot of people are missing that argument. You are fighting Zimbabweans to say, we don't want foreigners to come to Zimbabwe, but the same foreigners are in South Africa. How are they getting into South Africa? They are getting into South Africa, some of them without passports. How are they getting into South Africa? It's because you cannot police the borders. You cannot close the boundaries of your nations. You can only close the official crossing point, but you cannot close everything. So a functional Zimbabwe, it means everybody will be working, everybody will be functional. Okay, they just want your money, says, come to Britain, we have plenty of shifts for you, bro. Personally, I want to work for myself. I don't see myself being employed in the near future. Count me out for the people who will be employed. Personally, I'm that character. I left my job. Do you know that I have left in the past few years? I have left around 3 jobs, and I have refused offers. I've been given offers. There is a company in Harare. I still have a letter, an offer letter. Somebody called me. This guy knew me, and when he heard that, I left. I was working in government at a certain point in time, and I knew this guy. He could visit the office, and I could help him. So when he came to the office and he was told I'm no longer there, he said, why did he left? And he called me and said, I heard that you left, and I have a job offer for you. Come. And I was given an offer which I refused up to this day. And they said this is an open offer to work at a very big company in Zimbabwe, and the salary is good. There are benefits. But at a certain point in time, I put things on the scale and say, if I take this offer, what will be my independence politically? What will be my independence intellectually? What will be my independence economically? So when I put these things together, I weigh and I make a decision. I want to be politically independent. I want to be politically independent. I don't want a situation where somebody decides politics for me. I don't want such a situation. And when you get employed to somebody who is well connected, there are certain things you can't say because you are now employed by that person. You have to mince your words. If that person is in partnership with Mnangagwa and you want to attack Mnangagwa, you start to think, okay, what will be the relationship of this person with Mnangagwa before you speak? That is the reason why I need my independence. So I'm that one guy who is not looking for a job and probably will not look for a job in the near future. I'm not looking for a job and I don't wish to. I want to employ people. At this point in time, I employ people and I wish to expand. I wish to see myself employing more people. I wish to see more people benefit from me. There are people who are benefiting directly from me. There are people who are benefiting indirectly from me. I want that to improve. I want that to increase. So this is me. So I think we have exhausted. Okay, Portia, let me take some comments right here before we end this. Okay, Zvai, thank you very much, Zvai. Young says, no, ZANU-PF must go. Kasukwere and other former ZANU-PF tycoons must go. We need new people. You know, at a certain point in time, Young, you must understand that politics does not work like that. Politics is a power matrix. You can stay in the opposition forever and ever more if you fail to strike deals. I can tell you, Nelson Chamisa is so strong in other areas, but he does have weaknesses in other areas. Sylvia Kasukwere and his team, they have weaknesses in other areas, but they have strength in other areas. That is the reason why I said I will have to come. If I get a green light, I will come and I will explain to the people of Zimbabwe why Zimbabwe needs a coalition right now. So Nelson Chamisa is very popular and very powerful politically, well connected and well trusted by the markets in Zimbabwe, which means if he leads Zimbabwe, the chances of success are high. But how is he going to take over power in Zimbabwe is very important. I talked about the power makers making a decision, reaching an agreement to have Nelson Chamisa as the president. I talked about this issue. It's a meeting which happened, and they agreed to have Nelson Chamisa as the president, but there are conditions attached. So you weigh the conditions to say, what are these conditions? What are my demands? What are their demands? What are the demands from the people? And when the demands from the people and your demands outweigh their demands, you get in. That is the position. So the issue is, Nelson Chamisa, we are here to support you to take over the leadership of this country. You come with your own people on board, but on the condition that you embrace 1, 2, 3 people and they become the official opposition in Zimbabwe. How bad is that? How can you say it's bad to have Kasukwere coming in as the official opposition in Zimbabwe? How can you say it's bad? But where does it start? It starts with a coalition. Where Nelson Chamisa will come with everybody, with certain people on board in a coalition. Those people, they go on to neutralize ZANU-PF, take over ZANU-PF, while Nelson Chamisa is leading the entire country, delivering. When you go to an election, Nelson Chamisa wins the election, those people becomes the official opposition. How bad is that? That is a deal. Anybody can take that deal. If that deal comes in such a way, anybody can take that deal, because your demands outweighs their demands. That is politics for you. So politics is about strategy. It's not about popularity only. It's about strategy. It's about striking deals. You have to strike deals with those who wield power. If you fail to do that, someone else will strike a deal. Portia says, we don't need Kasukwere for what really? They're the ones who put us in this situation in the first place. I think I have explained the Portia. At a certain point in time, we need each other. We really need each other. And this is very important for the people of Zimbabwe. With the time, you understand about this. But who am I? I don't make decisions. What I'm saying is, I'm telling you what is on the cards and what needs to be considered in Zimbabwe at this point in time for Zimbabwe to move forward. So it's either you stay in opposition up to 2028 or up to 2030, or you take this deal. You have to choose what is better, to have Nelson Chamisa as president right now, working with Sylvia Kasukwere and Walter Mzembe, or to have Emmerson Mnangagwa to 2030. If you are to choose, what are you going to choose? Personally, I would go for Nelson Chamisa presidency. I would go for Nelson Chamisa to lead Zimbabwe. Under any circumstances, I would choose Nelson Chamisa to lead. You know, than to continue having ZANU-PF under Mnangagwa. So you have to choose. It's an issue of choosing. What do you want? So LM says ANC must go. I agree. Lawrence Ndoro says the pain is being felt by the Tsepetes. Yes, they are feeling the pain. Yesterday, George Charamba penned a very emotional story. We talked about it. George Charamba is bitter. I'm being told that these people, they are bitter. Right now, as we speak, they are not even happy. They are not even happy with what is happening at the top there. They are even angry to say, how come these things are happening? What really happened? They are still shocked with the performance in South Africa there. So these are normal things. Politically, guys, at a certain point in time, we need to compromise, and we need to break, to have some deals. So this is something which is very important. I think I will have to come with the details. Once I get the green light, I will come with the details of this issue so that you get to understand the position, and you will see for yourself why I believe a coalition will work in Zimbabwe. I believe a coalition will work in Zimbabwe. At this point in time, if South Africa manages to neutralize Ramaphosa, then Zimbabwe can make a move, because Ramaphosa, the South African president, will not protect Emmerson Mnangagwa's presidency. He will not. So that's the position we all wanted to have at this point in time. And I believe that we now have that opportunity. We just need to use it wisely. We just need to take advantage of it. So we are still waiting for the final result of South Africa. And I think we need to cross over from this platform to the next platform. We are at 98.26%. 98.26%. We need to cross over anytime from now. We need to cross over. So I'm going to take a few comments, a few last comments before we cross over to the final results platform. We need to cross over. So there is a link which is already on this platform, Africa and Beyond TV. And make sure that you have turned on the notification bell, because once we go live, you will be notified. It's alike, guys. If you are live with us right now, just it's alike, guys. You know that sometimes you need to support our channels, guys. You need to support us, not by money. Just it's alike, guys. Like my videos. I'm seeing 261 people. If you all of you like, you are promoting us. You are promoting us. You make us be able to do our things. The more you like our videos, the more you make us be able to run these shows on our own. We are not, personally, I'm not getting any funds from anybody. I'm running these shows for the love of Zimbabwe, and I'm actually putting my own money to make sure that things work. But sometimes you need to support us. Like and share, guys. These are two things which are so simple. To share the video and to like. It's for free. You can help us through that. And for those who want to assist us with buying studio equipment, feel free to get in touch with us, mukundiafricatv@gmail.com, mukundiafricatv@gmail.com. If you get in touch with us, then you can buy things directly for us for our studio. You are free to do so. Let me put my WhatsApp number. A lot of people have been asking for my WhatsApp number. It's a Zimbabwean number. Okay, this is a Zimbabwean number. WhatsApp only. It's for WhatsApp only. WhatsApp only. This is the number. I'm placing the number right now on the screen. And if you want to partner with us, if you want to support us with anything for our studio, feel free to get in touch with me on that number, or to email us on mukundiafricatv@gmail.com, mukundiafricatv@gmail.com, @small_s, and you'll be able to get in touch with us through email. And that is the WhatsApp number which is showing there on the screen. You can support us. When you like our videos, you are supporting us. When you share our videos, you are supporting us. You can also help us buy some studio equipment. We really need cameras. We really need studio lights. And the audio system, somebody bought us a mini audio system. It's better right now. It's better. And you can support us as well. If you want to buy something for us, you can even pay for something. You can pay for us for something. I can give you instructions on how to purchase something for us. You purchase something for us, it gets delivered to our point person anengari kunzvimbo iyoyo yaunenge watengera, to that address, and it will help us because zvinotibatsira kuti tinge tichivaka studio yedu. So you can help us buy some studio equipment so that we go live each and every time. Sometimes my gadgets edu anenge asingafambidzani. Currently, we need an updated laptop. We need a better version of. We need my cameras for better visuals. You know, I see a lot of people who complain about our visuals, etc. So you will need all those things. And for those who can support, get in touch, please. So this is the issue. Let me recap. Let me take a few comments right now before we close this. Like he says, sweet news, we hear, we love it. All this is working for the good of Zim. Keep on great work. You are so brave, our great bro. Thank you very much, Lucky, for being here with us. Mavia Gudo says, I don't know, President Misa is only powerful, but he won elections twice. But it seems Mnangagwa struck a deal with Shavangu. What will happen? This is the reason why I'm saying you have to choose what you want, either to be stuck with Emmerson Mnangagwa and Shavangu up to 2030, then you have Vanava Mnangagwa next, or Nelson Chamisa, Sevia Kasukwere, and Walter Mzembe. You have to choose what you want. If you can choose and tell me right now what you want, Mnangagwa and Shavangu or Chamisa in charge and Kasukwere and Mzembe following, what do you want? I think as Zimbabweans, sometimes we need to put our differences aside and choose wisely. This is what is happening, and I will come at a later stage and we'll talk about that. Well done says the winds of change are blowing in Southern Africa. ED must also fall come 17 to 19 August 2024. ED is falling, ED is falling, ED is falling. Dorothy says, Murukuronga chaizo, basa, thank you very much, Dorothy, for this contribution. And I love you all, Team Zimbabwe. You have been supporting us for a very long time. Without you, we won't be here. Without you, we won't be where we are. Say White says August is far for ED. August is far for ED. Let us see. Stax says Hanzin Chebangu. Okay. Let's watch this space. I agree with you, Say White. A lot is happening. And from what I know right now, a lot is happening. I can tell you a lot is happening. And I believe that a deal is about to be struck. I don't know if Nozo Jamsa is going to accept the offer, but that is the offer which is on the table. I've given you a hint already. We'll come and unpack it in details. We'll talk about it in details. But please, guys, if you're alive right now, my likes, guys. My likes. You don't lose anything if you like our video. Please, chingo like, guys. Just to like. You are watching right now. Chingo kinda like. That will help us a lot. And before you leave, make sure that you share this video. Just share with anybody before you leave, so that we connect more Zimbabweans on these platforms. You know, propaganda platforms are there. We need to counter propaganda. For us to be able to counter propaganda, it's when we are more. You know, I have seen you guys have been supporting my brother Chatufa. That is great. You see, that is what we want. We need to have progressive people being supported online. Sometimes you don't need to give us money, but you need to share our videos. You need to like our videos. That support is well enough, Team Zimbabwe. That support is well enough. You make us be able to buy ourselves internet. You make us be able to buy ourselves some gadgets and some equipment. And that will be a plus. So we are getting into a mode where we have to shelf some projects I have been running so that we have production 24/7 kushika Mnangagwa and it means you will never miss me for any day. You come, you will see me online any day. Tichitaura about politics in Zimbabwe. Kushika Mnangagwa at Eke, Kushika Mnangagwa ayenda. We can strike a deal. Imimi chenyu kuri kushare my videos, kulike my videos. That is what you will be doing. Isisu chedu kuita my live shows. So we can strike a deal. We can have a show every 9 p.m., 8 p.m. Let's say 8 p.m. we can have a show at 8 p.m. every day, except maybe for Sundays. But we can have every day. 8 p.m. we come and discuss about Zimbabwe issues. An open discussion on the platform. Those who would want to contribute will be free to come to contribute. And some you can even contribute through my comment. I read your comment, then we can have a discussion like what we are doing right now. Lydia, how are you, Lydia? You see, this is the importance of this thing. I can simply put your comment right there on the screen and everybody will be able to read your comment and see. Let me just put an example, guys, how we can have a powerful interaction. Let me take a comment which is Yakati Kure. This is how we can have a discussion. You can even, from where you are, you write in the comment section. I put that on the screen. People can respond to your comment, and we talk about it live like this. We can have those conversations. So personally, I have sacrificed. I'm in for anything for Zimbabwe. I'm in to come each and every day so that we talk about these issues. So Team Zimbabwe, we are sitting at 98% so far. Let us cross over. It's now less than 1%. Let us cross over to the final results link. So just make sure that you have subscribed and you have turned on the notification bell. If you fail to get the notification, I'm switching and I'm going live right away. I'm going live about my South African results. Let us switch over to the South Africa results. James says, we need people like Zuma in Zimbabwe. Things will change. Things are already changing in Zimbabwe, and a lot is being done. Thank you very much for coming, guys. Ngatsanganei kuseri. The link is already there, and let us go and have a meeting. So let me place the link right here so that muchingo bapana pa. So don't leave. Let me place the link here. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Let me go and take the link, bring it here. Muchito bapano makto connector through the link straight. Makto connector through the link. So don't leave. Kanori papo rambori papo. Let me connect you to the link. Tichitaura about South Africa results. Tichitaura about South Africa results because yasvika nguva iya yekuti zvinhu zvinge zvichimira zvakanaka muZimbabwe, muSouth Africa, and we need to celebrate that time together with South Africans. So let me bring the link right here onto this platform. Let me place the link so that you just leave straight to Chitono Pinda to South African link. Let us go straight right here. Let me bring the link. Let me bring the link. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Just a minute. I have copied the link. I have copied the link, and the link is now coming. So you are just leaving here straight to the link, and I'm going live right there. So that is the link right there. I have placed the link in the comment section right there. So check out the link. Confirm if it's there. The link, yes, the link is there. The link is there already. So you go to that link. It's about South African results because the Tasaran 1% is almost done. Let us go to Zimbabwe and have that conversation. So, ngati cross over to the next link. Thank you very much for coming.